yourself for the record, please.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you to the Chair and members of the committee for the opportunity to testify. I'm Jennifer Goulet, the President of ArtServe Michigan, the statewide nonprofit organization dedicated to advocating on behalf of the arts, culture, and arts education. And as you know, our organization has been working with its statewide grassroots network to rebuild the funding and policy support for the arts in Michigan as part of the strategies to rebuild Michigan's economy for the future. And I would like to add that we certainly appreciate the efforts of the subcommittee members to retain the funding that was recommended for the critical arts and cultural programs through the Michigan Council for the Arts and Cultural Affairs. However, this morning, I'm bravely here to testify in support of the Michigan Municipal League's position in opposition to the cuts proposed in this bill that we've just been discussing regarding the statutory portion of revenue sharing for local communities. I formerly held positions with the City of Ypsilanti as its Community and Economic Development Director and its Downtown Development Authority Director, and I can personally attest to the challenges faced by these municipalities who bear the responsibility to continue to provide essential public services in spite of significant decreases in revenues resulting from the declining property values and a history of continued cuts to this revenue sharing. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to talk with my former boss, City Manager Ed Carisno, and would like to share some facts regarding that city's specific outlook, and perhaps some of this will address some of the questions asked of the Mayor of Hamtramck. Since 2003, the city has been forced to reduce its general fund budget due to the loss of its largest industry and taxpayer, Ford Motor Company, then taken over by Visteon, and then ACH. The City of Ypsilanti is also challenged by the fact that 35% of its land area is tax exempt due to the positive presence of Eastern Michigan University and other governmental and institutional religious uses, and yet it's also responsible for carrying the burden of providing public services in those areas as well. In response to those factors, the city has already been forced to completely eliminate its recreation department and programs and decrease its workforce from 130 to 95 employees. And as the Mayor of Hamtramck pointed out, City of Ypsilanti has also smartly sought opportunities for collaboration in response to these factors. It's contracted for dispatch services with the Washtenaw County Sheriff, Huron Valley Ambulance, and with the county again for information technology services. But these challenges continue to worsen as the city's taxable value last year declined by 8%. This year they're projecting an additional 10% loss. So in spite of these seemingly unsurmountable challenges, the city, quite frankly, so far has been lucky to retain support for its critical police and fire protection services. But that's going to end this year. The city manager noted that with the continued tax base decline and even this balanced increase that's been proposed as a minimum impact to local communities, the city will be forced to eliminate 11% of its police force and 15% of its firefighting team. This will clearly place those local residents and business owners and nonprofit organizations such as those that we represent across the state at great risk through such critical cuts to those very essential public services. And so at a time when Michigan seeks to attract and retain talent and business investment as part of re-energizing its economy for the future, we cannot and should not continue to balance the budget with resources like these that are rightly due to the local communities to provide the critical services needed to sustain vibrant and healthy communities. And so this morning, I personally joined the Michigan Municipal League and communities across our state in urging the committee, and I think you've certainly expressed that there is strong desire to be able to do that in partnering with communities and organizations like ours in investing in Michigan's local communities and restoring, working with us to restore funding revenues that are so important to these communities. We really see this as an integral part of the economic development strategies that are moving forward to reposition Michigan once again as a competitive force on the world stage. And I would also add that our organization and our statewide membership stands at the ready to work with the legislature on creative and innovative revenue strategies. We have stepped forward to support certain proposals related to services taxes or the collection of income tax on out-of-state entertainers and athletes, just as two examples. We know that there's a lot of work to be done on researching what kind of strategies are right for Michigan, and I lend our support to work with you in that regard. Thank you.
I've introduced a bill that would allow for arts to receive its own funding. Have you had a chance to review that?
We understand that that has been in the works, and we appreciate that and look forward to working with you on that.
I'm not sure if the speaker referred it to me, but it may come to us eventually because, you know, I often remind people that we make the largest mistakes when we want to teach children how to be creative, when we take arts and music out of the curriculums and out of the schools, because the way that most people really can learn mathematics is through music if they learn how to count. And when they learn about the aesthetic value of things, they begin to think in a broader way. And the context development is what one of my professors told me it was called, becomes much sharper and clearer. So for the last 20 years, we've looked the other way. I mean, here's another classic example. I saw that the First Lady is really putting on a push for healthier kids, right? We're talking about the obesity problem. You know, for big guys like me and you, Fred, right, we have to stay at it. But I'm talking about the Freds, the Fred boys. They like me. We both big. Vince is big. Right. And we have to constantly be at it. But we always want, the first thing we want to do is take physical education out of the school and don't understand why we got an obesity problem. Kids ain't never taught nothing but how to play games and watch TV. I'm guilty. In fact, I used to sit with my boys and play games. But the fact is that if we have to be cognizant that sometimes these easy solutions to cut certain things really cost us more in the long run. So, how do I say this to you? We will continue to try to find a revenue for art. I consider music a part of art. As you know, I come from the performing arts originally. Great high school that had it, called Cass Tech in Detroit. One of the first charter schools I'll have all of you know. That's right. Cass Tech had a separate charter from the school district of the city of Detroit. It had its own citywide school district with two other schools. And you had to be chosen. You couldn't just go enroll in that school. It's the first charter. I'm concerned because I know this is election year, having been in a few elections, not too many, and don't you tell, that in election years it's very difficult at times to get the political will to do what we need to do. All right, it's 12:10, 12:05. We'll take lunch so I can count till 1:05, give everybody a chance to eat, and then, Fred, we'll see if we have the votes. We'll stand in recess until 1:05. Did anybody want to testify that didn't get a chance? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman.